positive energy all the time. Good to see you all. Run them likes up, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Rep your city where you're representing from. As usual, I am representing Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to all my people on Kick. Welcome to my Kick. Thank you for following me on Kick and supporting me on Kick. Shout out to everybody on Twitch. You much appreciated. All my people on YouTube that's been with me from day one, salute. And all my supporters on Facebook. Good to see you all. We got Indianapolis in the building. We got Miami-Dade County in the building. Oh, you say, yeah, you like the hat? Yeah. Yeah, they come in green, red, gold, and black. So yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it cracking. We got Pittsburgh in the building. We got Indianapolis in the building. Who else is here? Come on in. Come on in. We finally got some good news considering reparations for the people of Tulsa. Finally. Got some good news for the wonderful people in Tulsa that survived, the survivors of Tulsa Massacre. It's never too late, but sometimes it could be too long. And it's been too long, and people have been pushing for that. We had the 3 survivors, if you remember. That were hanging on well into their hundreds. And now, I think it's only 2. Hughes Uncle Red Van Ellis passed away last year. That's sad. Never got a chance to see what he waited so long for. He never got a chance to see it. He passed away, he was 102 years old. Can you imagine waiting 102 years? There's only two left now. These two beautiful sisters right here are left. Viola Fletcher and Leslie Randall are the only two left. Both well into their hundreds, which is a disgrace that they spent all this time fighting for reparations for the victims of the horrible situation in Tulsa. And they never got a chance to see it happen with their brother and their comrade that was with them all them years. That's the world we live in. We got Atlanta in the building. So much respect to the mayor of Tulsa, Mayor Monroe Nichols IV. He has proposed a $100 million trust to repair the impact of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. That's a big move for the brother. He deserves a lot of respect for that. After all these years. I watched his speech. If you get a chance, go check it out. It was exciting. People were overwhelmed. And I was happy to see it. It's a bittersweet because it's just a shame, man. It's 2025. It's been 104 years. This country is real disrespectful in a lot of ways. You know, you reap what you sow, though. You don't watch the story play out. But you know, good things don't happen when you move like that. And For the country to always be trying to brush off the past, you know, that's foul too. Because if it happened 104 years ago, as soon as it happened, 10 years went by, you brushed it off. 20 years went by, you brushed it off. 30 years went by, you brushed it off. So by the time 100 years go by and you brushed it off, now you want to pretend like, well, that was a long time ago. But a long time ago, as a country, you brushed it off 100 years. That's not nothing to be proud of. That's the same thing with reparations for Black America. They said that was a long time ago. That's a bigger disgrace. The fact it was a long time ago is a bigger disgrace for the country. That means you brushed it off all that time. And then you just want to brush it off to the point you say, well, we didn't brush it off so long, no need in doing nothing now. That's America. Well, we brushed it off so long, no need in doing nothing now. That was my great granddaddy and then brushed it off. What that got to do with me? That kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good to see you, Alexis. That was my God. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. What's so foul about that is you have the people that could have get it, you had them oppressed. So the people that you felt like could have got it, couldn't have got it because you had them oppressed. So imagine me capturing somebody and putting them locking them in a room. I lock them in a room in 2001. And I keep them locked in a room till 2021. And I let them go. And they say, aren't you going to compensate me? I go, no, 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 no. I kick the can down the road. Time goes on. I pass away. They pass away. Their relatives want to know what you going to do about how you treated our relative. I kick it down the road. I kick it down to my further generation. And then my descendants tell their descendants, after I kick the can down the road for so many years, say, oh, that was a long time ago. Now, what do I got to do with it? Mind you, everything that you had, those descendants got it. This is the part where America don't get that they got all that stolen money and all that stolen wealth. That is still circulating. Yeah, you say, well, that was a long time ago. What about the economics that was gained? Where did that go? That gone too? Because we know economics will circulate. What about all the property that was bought from that illegal transaction of slavery? What about that? Where did that? That's a long time too. That's gone too. So this way you get into trying to get rid of the history books to make it really be gone, so nobody even remembers it. That's why you don't teach the thorough history. That's why a lot of our history is left out of schools because they want it to be gone. If you look at the Native Americans, how they paid the Native Americans, the fact is, how could you pay them and still be on their land? Who believes that's a decent payment? You take their land, then you pay them, but you still on their land because the only payment is to give them their land back. And the problem with modern day man, he thinks these sins go away, but these sins don't go away. They haunt you. They haunt you in the form of natural disasters and plagues and pestilence. It doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. It stays until you pay. And the price goes up to the point where cash won't be enough. The earth does all the judgment. It's just crazy. That's why when I look at religious people, a lot of them is phony because you wouldn't behave a certain way if you really believed there was a judgment going to come on you for behaving a certain way. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't have slavery if you really believed in a judgment. You wouldn't do that. You don't believe that stuff. It's just hocus pocus. But finally, somebody got up there and said that they're going to do something. So they're going to be getting forms of reparations in Tulsa. They're going to try to put the parts of the city back together, try to do as much as they can to build back up what foundational black Americans lost. It's the only time in American history where they basically bombed their own citizens, except for Move. Move is another time they bombed their own citizens. Basically used military war against American citizens that weren't considered American citizens. And by a lot of people in this country still don't consider us as American citizens. To be an American citizen, I guess you have to be, I don't know, because I don't know what would make you an American citizen because the Native Americans, are they American citizens? And if it's based on who was here first, wouldn't they be the only original American citizens? And wouldn't you have immigrants and slaves? It's confusing. Like you got Europeans are immigrants here that came here. And then they bought us. So we're illegal immigrants through slavery. Nevertheless, that's what we are. Now, you did have some black people here too. People always want to remind us of that, and that's true. You had the red Nate, the red indigenous, and you had the brownish, blackish indigenous. We're here, and the red indigenous did work with the Europeans to help destroy the black ones. That's also true. But it's been all these years, and finally, there's going to be some type of reparations and restitutions. They're going to be, they've got a bunch of like unmarked graves. They find like bodies, like, oh man, they're finding bodies that you wouldn't believe. They tried to say it was only 36 people that had passed away from it, but now they're saying it was 360, and they're trying to find them. And they found some. They've done a DNA on one. They finally identified one, but they're going through the process to identify all these bodies. It's morbid, like a Dracula of like Frankenstein. Like it's really, you know how you got to be to do that kind of stuff. To see people with a nice flourishing town that ain't done nothing to you, and you just want to burn it down and just destroy it. And a lot of times, I mean, that energy is still here. There's still constantly efforts to try to gentrify us or hurt us economically with some type of government moves, eminent domain, like what Elon Musk is doing in Memphis, putting up that factory that's putting out all of them chemicals. People say you can smell it. Going to basically just legally poison the people legally. The government sit there, the United States government, let Elon Musk actually set up a poisonous factory right near where black people live, legally. Biden, because it didn't just get built, Trump ain't been in office long enough. Biden allowed that. So I tell you, ain't no difference between Biden and Trump. And a lot of them. It ain't no difference. We could just sit around their dinner table and they didn't see you and just hear how they talk. You'll see. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. And eventually it'll be shown and you're going to never do right. And then Mother Nature's going to take care of it. And eventually it'll be like, okay, you're a blight to the earth. You're not functioning in a decent manner. You use war and stuff constantly, destruction, because you know that factory it's hurting the animals too. The birds, the bees, any creatures that live, all of that got to deal with Elon Musk's toxic waste. No respect for nothing on the planet. Nothing. Because even the people that work there, guess what? They going you know what I'm saying? The employees, everybody gonna get sick. No, no, no. It's a lot of real dark energy around the world. So like on the level of the Bible, when you talk about good and evil, like that's not just make believe. It's like for real. There's just dark energy. And the ones with the dark energy, they'll do anything to get rich. And the righteous ones won't do that. So the dark ones, they go do all type of stuff, and then they get rich, and then they take their riches and they oppress and destroy and push down the righteous who ain't like don't want to have wars, don't want to do all that. So because one group of people is willing to go to war, willing to do whatever, they're able to dominate the world because the other people don't want to live evil like that. That's the only reason. If everybody was as cruel as the ones trying to run the world, they would they wouldn't let them run it. They would do them the same way they try to do everybody else. But you got the righteous, you got decent people. They're not willing to do all of that. I'm not willing to go put something up and make everybody sick. I don't got what Elon got. Elon is obviously evil. He looks evil. He doesn't look like he has a righteous bone in his body. He almost looked possessed when you watch him twerking and fidgeting and you know, and you listen to him talk, it's not like a normal person. I don't think he has any humanity in him. You know what I'm saying? He's the big bad wimp. Imagine that. So, hopefully uh, things work out for the people in Tulsa. I'm gonna have to take a trip there, maybe about a couple years when they start getting stuff set up, and go look to see what they got going. I'm sure they're in for a fight. I'm sure the negative energy still lives there. And so keep your eye on the story, watch the story. Congratulations to the people of Tulsa. That's a big step. Much respect to the mayor. You're doing a great job. And Mayor Monroe Nicholas the Fourth, you're a blessing to the people of Tulsa. You got a good heart. It's good to see the brother get there and try to make some change, try to make it better, try to put that bed to rest, put that whole problem to rest, if possible. There are people that's trying to put all the racism and hate to rest, but there's people that's just in their soul. They just hate. It's all in them. And they got philosophies and ideologies to back up the hate. It's crazy. But keep your eye on the story. Keep your eye on the story. And let's push for reparations for foundational black Americans all across this country. We need what we got coming to us, and that's our reparation. All right. All right. Victory, and check these books out. All right.